think about what you're going to do. And
Reining Horse Foundation Boot Camp. If you're looking for a place to get started in reining or to sharpen your skills, stay tuned.
this is a way that beginners can come and just jump in the water, and see what it feels like.
Oh my gosh, definitely do it.
I feel way more confident now. It's super fun.
And RHF Boot Camp's a great place for more experienced riders, too.
And anything that I can learn to help me is great, perfect.
Plus, proceeds from RHF Boot Camp support the Reining Horse Foundation's Dale Wilkinson Memorial Crisis Fund.
It took the stress off of my family for a lot of the medical bills that needed to be paid.
And that money is a lifesaver for us.
We'll hear those stories and talk to NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award winner, actor William Shatner.
Coming up on Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim, we're going to show you how a simple bucket can be dangerous for your horse.
And NRHA professional Craig Smersall will work a 2-year-old through the circles and the downward transition in Training Secrets. That's all ahead on Horse of the West.
The Western horse was a master of a hard world, pitted for centuries against half-wild bovines. Ferocious predators, brutal weather, and the sheer size of the country they had to cover. Their descendants are still nimble, fast, and courageous, with a rock-solid disposition that makes them beloved the world over. In this next half hour, you'll see them in action here on Horse of the West.
Welcome to Boot Camp. These are Reining Horse Foundation sponsored clinics held in conjunction with shows around the country. The folks at the Arizona Reining Horse Association hosted this boot camp at their Best of the West show in Scottsdale.
This is the first year for our Reining Horse Foundation boot camp.
Mark Blake is president of the Reining Horse Foundation and co-founder of the Arizona Reining Horse Association Best of the West show, which is hosting this boot camp in Scottsdale. They've invited former NRHA Futurity champion, 3-time NRCHA Snafflebit Futurity champ, and 2-time World's Greatest Horseman Bob Avila to be a headliner. Bob says the most important thing is for participants to relax.
And one thing about it, they can't make a mistake we haven't made already. I mean, the professionals here have made all the mistakes they're ever going to even think about making, or they may never even think about making. So we've done it all. And, so we just want everybody to be, feel good about it and come and have a good time.
Along with Bob Avila, NRHA professionals Troy Hikes of Scottsdale, Matt Mills of nearby Cave Creek, Arizona, Ben Balo of Skull Valley, and Shane Brown of Elbert, Colorado are all volunteering their time for the clinic. Like all RHF boot camps, this one benefits the Dale Wilkinson Memorial Crisis Fund for reiners in need.
Which helps an awful lot of people that have had natural catastrophes and injuries and that sort of thing, and we've helped a lot of people down through the years.
One guy was in his house flooded out in Houston area, and it bailed him out. Wife, kids, the whole thing. You'd be surprised. You think it's not much, but sometimes it doesn't take much to make the difference between whether you're going to make it or not.
And then also just to introduce people to the sport of reining and try to draw new people in.
So anything we can do to bring those new people in is I'm for it, and it's exciting, yes.
And we're benefiting the Crisis Fund.
Yeah, and on top of that, to benefit the Crisis Fund, which is a great program and really helps out a lot of members in RHA.
We'll hear more about the Reining Horse Foundation and what all it does to support the members of the National Reining Horse Association coming up. But right now, let's meet some of the riders who've signed up for RHF Boot Camp.
My name's Carson Tullis. I'm 13 and I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona.
My name is Macy Tullis. I am 16 years old and I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona also.
My name's Ella Downard. I'm 15 and I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona.
Now tell me the name of your horse and kind of your horse's background.
This is Jackie, and she's 15, and she's a quarter horse, and she's mostly just done Western, but we're kind of teaching her English too, and she's pretty chill most of the time, but she's definitely a mare and has her days. Yeah.
We hope this won't be one of them.
She seems pretty good today.
How about you, Missy?
I have Bo here today. He's 15 years old, and he's a paint. And he loves going slow. He's very lazy. He's pretty chill. He just kind of does whatever and kind of takes over. So I'm just kind of sitting there. It's fine.
So this is Halo. I got her when she's 6 now. I got her when she was 4. She's normally a Western pleasure horse, and so we're trying to branch her out of it and trying to get her to do some other stuff. So yeah.
Does she seem to be interested in doing other stuff? We're getting ready to find out.
These 3 young ladies are truly saddle pals.
we're in 4-H together and Pony Club for a while. And yeah, we've just been riding together for a while. We love it.
We normally just do showing, so that involves like classes, like Western pleasure, Western riding, sometimes reining, but not really. We're learning. I definitely want to get better at it and learn more about it, so I think it's fun.
I like the speed and the stops. I think they're so fun. And the spins, just like watching them go round and round. I think it's just awesome, like so fun to watch. And yeah, I think it takes a lot of like time and commitment, and I think that's really cool.
I like the speed and the stops too, and I think it's really cool how they're on a loose rein and they just know what to do, and the horses are there for business, and it's super fun to watch.
Interestingly, while the girls love the speed of reining, the first thing Bob Avila tells them to do is slow everything down.
He kind of put it as like, you wouldn't start a car in 3rd gear, and then like, so why would you start a horse in 3rd gear? Kind of go in 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, and work your way up to it. And that just made a lot of sense to me, because why would you start in 3rd gear?
It's like awesome to be able to work with him. He's definitely knows what he's talking about, and he gives a lot of feedback, so that's good.
What's the best thing you've heard so far, Ella? Something that you really needed to work on?
Oh, probably that reining isn't all about speed, and it's about control and talking with communicating with your horse, and it's about both of you being a team. That's probably what I've learned the most.
So what do the girls think of RHF boot camp?
Everybody's super nice, so yeah, and everyone just kind of like helps each other and gives each other pointers, so it's super fun.
What would you say to other people thinking about coming?
Oh my gosh, definitely do it. It's like there's so many different puzzle pieces, and you work on so many of them, and then you're just that much closer to like making it all fit. It's been an awesome experience, and they're super, super good with feedback and like what you need to work on.
I think it's super cool, and it's like even more interesting that I get to work with people who have done it for many years and see what their point of views are and how you should start doing things and the right way to do something and not just rush into things. And I feel way more confident now.
And for those of you who may be just a bit past your teenage years who haven't tried reining yet, participant Polly Cook says she's living proof it's not too late.
Okay, I have no problem with telling you I'm 73 years old. My husband, when he died almost 3 years ago, he was 74, and we didn't start doing this till, 15 years ago, I guess? So it's never too late. And both of us grew up riding horses, but not reining. I would say just try it. You might like it. That's what I would say.
If you'd like to try it, there are 2 RHF boot camps coming up in May in California, one on the 12th in Rancho Murrieta and one on the 18th in Sanger. And on May 25th, you can head to boot camp in Aubrey, Texas. Find all the details at ReiningFoundation.com. And again, all boot camp proceeds go to the Reining Horse Foundation's Dale Wilkinson Memorial Crisis Fund. More on how the Reining Horse Foundation serves the members of the NRHA just ahead on Horse of the West. And a little bit later, NRHA $4 million rider Craig Smersall works a long 2-year-old on circles and the downward transition in training secrets. Don't write off.
You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV, presented by the Oklahoma City Convention and Visitors Bureau.
The Reining Horse Foundation. Most reiners just call it the foundation because it's their foundation, the one they built, the one they support, the one they know is there for them.
Whether it's the scholarships for students working their way up in whatever area of study they choose, or in a need of crisis like the Dale Wilkinson Crisis Fund, that's great for our members. It provides a little bit of support, lets them know that reiners around the world are concerned with their well-being.
For David Gringeri, the foundation provided scholarship money.
I earned most of my college money working at home on the hay farm. The funding from the foundation really allows me to purchase textbooks and still be involved in, say, reining, other extracurricular activities, so I don't have to maintain a side job while attending school.
For Katie Weaver, the foundation was there to help with medical expenses.
Basically, when I was 15 years old, I was diagnosed with familial adenomatous polyposis, so my colon was full of thousands of polyps that turned into cancer. I went septic after surgery. It kind of basically attacked all of the organs in my body. After that, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, where my stomach is paralyzed, basically. So between all of this, I've had 7 surgeries and quite a long history of medical stuff. The Reining Horse Foundation stepped up and helped us with our medical bills, and it was truly amazing. It helped our family more than anybody knows, so that I could continue for a short while to ride, while at the same time it took the stress off of my family for a lot of the medical bills that needed to be paid.
For Kim Wagner, the foundation stepped in to help after he broke his pelvis in a riding accident.
Unlike a lot of jobs, a lot of professions, when we get hurt, the income stops, because it's pretty much we get paid for what we do, and so the income stops. And so in that position, the things like the crisis fund and that money is a lifesaver for us, just to keep food on the table and a roof over our head and keep us going till we're able to get back to work.
The Reining Horse Foundation is there to help reiners get where they're going, no matter what life brings. But the foundation's also dedicated to making sure reiners never forget where they came from.
I think it's important to remember your history of where we came from and what we did in the very beginning. Most sports have Hall of Fames, and it kind of tells from the guys in the beginning that have put a lot of time and effort into this and made it what it is today, I think.
And I can tell you that I've had an opportunity to move 3 times in my later years, and there are 2 trophies that I make sure that I know where they are. Okay, no matter what moving company, what truck, whatever, 2 come with me. One of them is the Hall of Fame trophy that I was fortunately able to receive, and the other one was a fraternity bronze. And those trophies always have a place at the front of my house. So what's it mean to me? I guess that's probably as good an example as I can give you.
The Reining Horse Foundation is more than a fund. It's a wellspring of support for the reining community.
And they need to know that we're all here for them. It is a family, and we're here for them, not only just to support them, emotionally, that there's a foundation that can be there for them and help them out financially. And take the stress off, whether it's a youth, take the stress off their parents or, their husband, whoever that is.
I'm not a guy that has a lot to say anyway, but, I guess one thing I would like to say is I hope everyone who has helped us out, I can't say thank you enough to all those people that have just supported us. It's made such a huge difference in our life for me to be able to get up in the morning and at least know that we're going to keep a roof on our head and food on our table, and that's worth more than words can ever say.
Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter, sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim.
One of the things that we take for granted are some of the just normal objects that are around your horse every day in their stall and in their environment. One thing I want to talk about today are buckets and bucket handles and snaps, and how these can be really dangerous and cause injury to a horse's nose or lips. One of the problems is that these buckets have a little opening right here where there's just enough space for a horse to get, an edge of their nose or their lip, and they can catch that and they can cut or actually tear the edge of their nose or lip away. These little rubber knobs that are on the ends of the buckets right here are helpful because they do blunt the sharp edge of the metal, plus they reduce the space between the edge of the metal and the handle. But what's even better to do is to actually tape black tape and tape these buckets. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, let's take a look at this. So this is what happens when you don't have your bucket handles taped on your water buckets in your stalls, is that a horse will hook their nose and tear their nose off. So you can see here But this big old flap is from where he hooked his nostril and tore it off. So you can see we put a subcuticular pattern underneath the skin, then a simple continuous pattern all the way around the inside of the nose, right there, and then a vertical mattress interrupted pattern here. And it goes back together. You need those interrupted stitches so if you lose one, you don't lose them all, because these horses will stay busy with their nose. They're going to keep eating and drinking and doing their job. So this nose came back together real well, real happy with it. And here's another alternative to buckets that you hang with snap, is you can just have a big tub in the stall. So here are options for you to help keep your horse safe, and I'm Dr. Joe Carter with Your Horse Inside and Out.
Your Horse Inside and Out is sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim. Learn more at unbridleyourpotential.com. Before making any decisions about your horse's health, be sure to contact your veterinarian.
Today, I would like to do a little segment on the circles, how I get them to mostly slow down. This is a 2-year-old coming 3, and he's still pretty fresh yet today, so I'm just gonna kick him off in a lope here and just talk you through what I'm thinking and what I'm doing in the circles. First thing I'm gonna do is take a lead departure, let him lope a couple strides. Now I'm gonna squeeze him with my calves on both sides. I'm just gonna send him forward a little bit. And notice that he's still pretty fresh, but I still like to teach him this while they're fresh. So I'm still squeezing. If he wants to run off and get ahead of me, I'm just gonna hold him right here until he settles in, and then I'm gonna turn my hands back loose. I'm gonna make him go a little faster. I just wanna touch his face. If he gives to me, I'm gonna turn him loose, but just maintain this speed right here. And the next time when I get to the center right here, I'm just gonna release both my calves. I don't want him to slide. I just want him to think it's time to take a break. So I'm still riding him fairly snug with both my legs. When I get to the middle up here, I'm just gonna simply just release my legs soft and slow. And you can see that worked really good for as fresh as he is. He's pretty quiet anyway, but that's my whole slow down program. And when I teach that to those horses, I might go around 2 or 3 times, maybe just 1 time. But when I come to the middle and I release my legs, I want them to think, okay, it's time to have a break. So I don't kick them off. I'm really slow and subtle with my legs, because if I kick them off, I want them to slide. If I want them to slow down and melt in the ground, I just release. What I'm thinking in those large fast circles is, when I'm running, I want this horse to slow completely down. I want him to think, oh, it's time to take a break. And then when these horses think that, then I'll squeeze with my outside leg or cluck to them and then lope them on. And that's my cue, you know, to continue loping. But I will not do that unless they think I want to slow completely down and take a break. You know, I don't want these horses to get to the middle and get worried that they might get pulled in the ground. I don't want them to, you know, get uneasy about the center. I just want those horses, when I ask my horses to slow down, they think, oh, it's time for a break. I'll do it one more time. It's okay if he wants to look around a little bit and be a little fresh. The main thing I'm concerned about is what happens when I release my legs. Again, if he goes too fast, I'll just hold him until he planes out, then I'll turn him loose. I'm gonna do it over here on this side. There, he kind of tripped a little bit. I'm just gonna pull him back a little and let him stand. And again, I do this a lot throughout the year, and I just want that slow down to mean a break time for these horses. And then when they get it on them good, I'll do it a little bit quicker. Like right now, I'm gonna send him up, send him forward. There. I kind of keep them straight through that whole process. And just keep one thing in mind too, when you do those circles like that, you don't have to run every day 1 or 2 or 3 circles. Some days I'll take off and I'll run a half a circle, even on Monday when they're fresh. They should know what the slowdown is, just like they know what whoa is.
The 2019 Arizona Best of the West show with more than $100,000 in added money is October 1st through the 6th at Westworld in Scottsdale. Find all the info at AZRHA.com. In the April issue of NRHA Rainer magazine, meet the 2018 Youth and Non-Pro World Champions and the NRHA's first female European $1 million rider, Sierra Beck. Read the story behind Shorty's Cowboy Hattery and get tips on picking the right spurs. Subscribe or read online at NRHA.com. Welcome back to Horse of the West. The Gala Reining Horse Foundation event, Sliders Night Out at the 2018 NRHA Futurity, featured one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, actor, director, producer, writer, author, and championship horseman William Shatner. He was honored with the NRHA Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to the sport of reining over many decades, including multiple appearances on behalf of the Reining Horse Foundation.
I'm receiving an award which is truly prized by me. I've got some statues marking some success at home, but none will be more treasured than whatever the prize is here. I've loved reining for all these years, and my passion has only increased.
Mr. Shatner and his wife Elizabeth both compete in reining as well as other equine events.
I ride American saddlebreds and have won world championships. I'm also into standard breds, and I've won in the discipline I'm in. I've won world championships in trotting horses, and I've gotten some blue ribbons and a saddle and some success as a reiner. So I'm really involved in three disciplines, and I breed and own and train and ride and compete in those three disciplines.
And at age 88, William Shatner says he doesn't intend to slow down anytime soon.
I haven't peaked as a rider yet. I just don't want to die of old age before I peak.
Watch in the weeks ahead for Horse of the West coverage of the National Reining Breeders' Classic, the NRCHA Celebration of Champions, the Best Little Derby in the West, and more. I'm Jennifer Reynolds. See you then.